famous idol lost his three closest friends in her life. She lost all his money to fraudsters. Her intimate photo was published in bed with another idol. She fought poverty and was slandered many times. I would be quite surprised if I told you that someone famous in K-pop industry almost 2025 actually came from a freezing one-room house full of cockroaches. Would you believe that? She had to struggle but managed to put all the songs in her album on the charts, lost her three closest friends, but was talked about all over the world with the donations she made, and even though she was subjected to various slanders, she wrote her name in golden letters in K-pop history. Now, let's tell the story of the idol who had to struggle with great difficulties. And also a Korean story. Story is a tear-jerking story, a journey of success forged in pain. A little girl was born in South Korea on May 16, 1993. Born in a normal family, this little child started to grow up and had only one dream: to be an actress. She was constantly making imitations at home and performing theater shows. Seeing the little girl's enthusiasm, her family turned her into acting. She was happy and growing up in a loving family, but unfortunately, when she was 12 years old, everything suddenly turned upside down. Her parents were unable to pay their debts, so her mother moved Jee Eun, and her brother to live with her grandmother in order to work more. While everything was going wrong, they suddenly found themselves in a cold one-room house, far away from their families and old grandmothers. She had to work to take care of them, but the money she earned was not enough to feed the people in the house. Her little sister started living in this house with Jee Eun, grandmother, and cousin. Unfortunately, they did not have much to eat, and they went to bed hungry most of the day. The grandmother's house was far away from the little girl's school, but they had to walk to school every day because she couldn't take the bus because she had no money at all. The little girl describes her experiences at that time as follows: living with my grandmother away from my parents because they both had to work. I had to live in a small room with my grandmother, cousin, and brother. It was always cold, and we never had enough food. The turning point of her life happened these days. One day, the little girl sang in front of the whole school at a school event. Then she fell in love with the stage and decided that she wanted to become a singer. He worked hard, saving her pocket money, and participated in auditions all the time. But she was rejected every time. As everything was already getting worse, something even worse happened. The house they lived in with their grandmother was invaded by cockroaches. They tried to endure this situation for months, but when the house became uninhabitable because of the insects, grandmother, her little sister, and her cousin had to move to a relative's house. Now, they needed a lot of money to deal with this problem of fumigating the house, but sometimes they couldn't even find food to eat. After this incident, everything started to get even more complicated. After moving in with relatives, the little girl was being subjected to verbal violence. Her relatives, whose house she moved into, were scolding her every time. She started yelling at the little girl that she could never be a singer, which was her biggest dream, and that's why she should study instead of singing. Even though she pretended to be asleep, she heard everything. But the words did not deter her. She saved her pocket money and went to the auditions. Jee Eun continued for months. She was rejected from all the agencies, but one day, an agency called her back to meet again. Here was a ray of hope. Her little daughter had achieved what she had dreamed of for years. The agency said that they would train her to debut and produce television programs. The girl's eyes were shining brightly, but the company wanted some money for all this. The little girl knew that they had no money. How could she find this money when they had no place to stay and no food to eat? When she explained the situation to her grandmother, she took out the money she had kept for difficult situations and gave it to her grandchild. Because she trusted her. The girl ran and gave the money to the agency, but the result was not at all what she wanted, not because her song was not loved, but because they did not even give her a chance to debut, because she was defrauded, and the girl's only hope had slipped away. Moreover, they had to give most of their money for nothing. While everything was so bad, the grandmother, do you know what she did? She gave the little girl some more money to cheer up and told her to have a nice meal with that money. This woman makes me sad, but she gives tons of sweet aunties, etc. Even at the bottom, she tried to take care of her grandchildren in the best way possible. I think after the little girl was defrauded, she was rejected by 20 different agencies, including JYP Entertainment, which is the biggest company in South Korea. However, in later years, JY Park, owner of the JYP Entertainment, said that they regretted rejecting her because the girl who was rejected by JY Park that day is now accepted by the whole world. The little girl was applauded. After being rejected many times, all her efforts were rewarded in 2007 and her paths crossed with Lone Entertainment. The girl who was accepted to the agency signed a contract, and the process of becoming an idol officially began. By struggling to survive in all these negativities. Have you wondered who this little girl who is chasing her dreams is, right? Jee Eun, who is referred to as the little sister of the nation, is one of the most loved and most successful idols of the K-pop world. Everyone has certain difficulties in their lives, and Jee Eun had to struggle with great difficulties until she debuted. If you think that I will talk about the difficulties and bad things in Jee Eun's life, and from now on I will talk about her good and beautiful memories, you are wrong. Life made her go through very painful things. Poverty was very bad, but after her debut, she experienced worse than poverty. Now, I will tell you the second act of Jee Eun's life. Luck was on Jee Eun's side again. The agency was very impressed with her voice and they thought she should debut as a solo artist instead of including her in a group. Honestly, I can't imagine Jee Eun being in a group at all. It's as if she was born to be a solo artist. Imagine being a member of Blackpink or Twice. After signing a contract with the company, Jee Eun left her grandmother's house and moved to Seoul to get training and prepare for her debut. After moving, her life got better. She had a clean place to sleep and good food to eat. While other idols often complain that companies don't let them eat what they want, Jee Eun is really grateful because the company gave her food and a place to sleep. I think it's heartbreaking that she fought so hard to have enough food and a place to feel safe. Impressed by the idol's life story, the agency gave her a dark look. He said it would be best to give her a concept, and as a result, after receiving training, Jee Eun released her first single. After training for 10 months, Jee Eun made her debut in 2008 under her stage name, conceived by LOEN company to mean I and you become one through music. She performed her debut single, Lost Child, live for the first time on the music program M Countdown on September 18, 2008, making it her debut performance as a professional singer. She thought that maybe her first song would be recognized by the whole world when it was released, but unfortunately it wasn't like that. She attended a program on the day of her debut. There were hundreds of viewers, and in fact everyone came to watch the stages of the more popular groups, especially the boy groups. When they saw a girl they didn't know on stage, they insulted her and told her to get off the stage. I'm sure it was a great disappointment to see such a reaction on the stage where you went on stage with a lot of effort and dreams. But Jee Eun was already struggling with much bigger problems. That's why she wasn't very affected by these, but as a result, this debut made no noise. In fact, the release of Jee Eun, also known as Mia, was so overshadowed that the news pages reported rookie singer Mia's song as Jee Eun. They didn't even know what the name of the singer and the song was. The agency thought that the dark concept was too much for 15-year-old Jee Eun and made changes for the new album. Company came up with a cute concept. 7 months after her debut, the B single was also released. This concept attracted a little more attention. But Jee Eun still can't gather enough attention, and the album couldn't sell good enough. If it continues like this, the company would probably fire her. She was scared and she had to do different jobs to earn money. For example, she performed at a horse race. No one listened to her or was interested in her. Then tried to earn money by singing on the sidelines, but she never gave up. In 2009, she released her first studio album, Growing Up, and the album was a great success. This is how 15-year-old Eun's musical journey began. Jee Eun, who attracted attention with her song Good Day in 2010, made a big rise. It was during this period that the Jee Eun syndrome emerged and Jee Eun was given the title of country's little sister. She was 17 years old and had no food or a place to stay until 2 years ago. However, now all the flashes were shining on her. During this period, she earned enough money to set things right for her family and financial situation. And she even bought her father's dream car. In 2011, Jee Eun released her new album, Lost Fantasy. It was an incredible success, and all the songs in the album were in the top 10 of the Korean music charts. This was truly incredible. I am happy for her so much when I am typing this script. I mean, fate was literally starting to smile on Jee Eun's face. Her efforts paid off. It was at this time that she realized her childhood dream. It was time. When Jee Eun turned 19, she started her acting career with the Dream High TV series in 2011. If you remember, at the beginning of the video, I told you about that little girl who only dreamed of becoming an actress when she was a child. Here, that girl made her dreams come true at the age of 19, and despite the great difficulties, it was the best time of her life for Jee Eun. She was perfect, but life did not allow her to be happy much. In 2012, she accidentally shared this photo on her Twitter account and later deleted it immediately. In this photo, Super Junior member Yoon and Jee Eun, he was lying next to her. Fans of both sides were shocked by this photo and thought they were lovers. Suddenly, this photo started to be talked about on all platforms. Jee Eun's company denied that they are a couple, but they are friends, and he visited her because she was sick. While Jee Eun was publishing a post, the relevant photo was published as a result of a mistake. Lastly, Jee Eun and Yoon are close friends who have been close since Yoon's debut. Yoon is close enough to even have dinner with Jee Eun's mother. Due to this incident, we kindly ask you not to exaggerate or make assumptions about Jee Eun and Yoon's relationship, but unfortunately this statement fails to calm down the fans, especially Yoon's fans. He received great criticism. He was asked to leave the group, and his official fan accounts were closed. Jee Eun accepted that this process was her fault and stopped all his activities indefinitely. In fact, although they did not make a statement that they were lovers, many people said that they were lovers at that time. Jee Eun didn't talk much about this incident, and things became quiet, and when the incident was forgotten. So, exactly 1 year later, she made a comeback with the album Modern Times. In this album, she broke an incredible record again, and all 13 songs entered the music charts at the first place. Actually, Jee Eun's influence and greatness at that time you can understand just by looking at this list. All concert tickets were selling out in seconds, and new TV series or movie offers were coming all the time. Korea was being destroyed by love at that time. As you can see, there were Jee Eun on all lists, on all news sites, on all channels. Many brands were advertised. She signed contracts and took part in many new TV series. Her acting career was at its peak, just like her singing career. She received awards thanks to her TV series, but the terrible days she was going to experience were very close. She thought that there would be nothing worse than poverty, but she was completely wrong. This period was very busy for her. Sometimes she participated in 20 different programs in one day. She had to attend, and that's why she hardly slept. In fact, in one of the programs, she looked very tired, and they asked him what time did she wake up? She replied, "I didn't get up at all today, I didn't sleep at all." Finally, Lone Entertainment shared a statement and announced that Jee Eun had a big sleeping problem and that she needed to rest, and that they would take a break from her activities. In fact, she was a name talked about all over the world at that time, and she was very successful. In fact, she had struggled to achieve this throughout her life, and at the age of 21, she was perhaps experiencing something far beyond her dreams. But this situation also affected her psychology greatly, as well as her sleeping problem. She was experiencing huge self-confidence problems. At the age of 21, when sleep problems and self-confidence problems combined, her psychological problems emerged, and she was unable to go on stage without using sedatives. In addition, an eating disorder also emerged. In fact, I think it was one of the biggest problems in Jee Eun's life, because she was the biggest problem in her life. In the end, she was diagnosed with bulimia and had to receive treatment for a while. Jee Eun described her experiences at that time as follows: "I was really unhappy. I didn't like myself. Oh, when I started, there was no end to it. I kept going deeper and deeper into the pit of self-pity. I was very lethargic and felt like I only had two options, sleep or eat. That's why I was overeating every time I wasn't sleeping. Jee Eun overcame all these problems within 2 years and released her sixth mini-album The Chatshire in 2015 in a brand new style, but again with a big scandal. There was a lot of confusion. She tried the Lolita concept in the album. She used crayons instead of lipstick, and she got a big reaction because she looked like she was portraying a little child. But the main point of criticism in her album is Z's in the candy orange on the album cover. Although she wanted to express her character in this album by getting rid of her childhood and entering a new era, unfortunately, she received great criticism and later had to apologize, especially Jee Eun's transition from her previous innocent and young girl image to a more mature theme and artistic style. She released his pilot album in 2017, and I think many of us may have recognized her with this album. She collaborated with G-Dragon on this album and achieved great success by rising again, but I'm sure in 2017, if you listen to K-pop, there is only one event you remember: Shine member Jonghyun's death. A few months after she released her album Palette, one of her best friends, Jonghyun, unfortunately ended his life. He left a note writing this: "I am damaged from the inside. The depression that has been slowly eating away at me has completely swallowed me, and I couldn't win over it. I hated myself. I tried to hold on to breaking memories and yelled at myself to get a grip, but there was no answer. If I can't clear my breath, it's better to stop. I asked myself who can take care of myself. It's only me. I was alone. It's easy to say I'll end things. It's hard to end things. I lived all this time because of that difficulty. They said I wanted to run away. That's true. I wanted to run away. From me. From you. I asked who it was. It was me. And it was me. And it was me again. I asked why I kept losing my memories. They said it was because of my personality. I see. It was my fault in the end. I wanted someone to notice, but no one noticed. No one met me. So, of course, they don't know I exist. I asked why people live.
Just. People just live.
If I ask why people die, I guess they'd say they were tired. I suffered. And I worried. I never learned how to turn my pain into happiness.
Pain is just pain.
They told me not to be like that.
Why?
I can't even end things the way I want. They told me to figure out why I was hurting.
I know very well why.
I'm hurting because of me. It's all my fault, and because I'm bad. Doctor, is this what you wanted to hear? No, I didn't do anything wrong. When the doctor blamed my personality with a quiet voice, I thought it was so easy to be a doctor. It's amazing how much I'm hurting. People who are hurting more live well. People weaker than me live well. I guess not. Out of everyone alive, there's no one hurting more than I am, and there's no one weaker than I am. But they said I should live. I asked why so many times, but it's not for me. It's for you.
I want it to be for me.
Don't say things that don't make sense. Figure out why I'm hurting. I told you why. Why I was hurting. Is it not okay to be hurting this much because of that? Do I need a more dramatic detail? I need more of a story? I told you why. Were you not listening? Things I can win over don't end in scars. It wasn't my place to clash with the world. It wasn't my life to be known to the world. They said that was why I was hurting more. Because I had clashed with the world, because I was known to the world. Why did I choose this? That's funny. It's a miracle I lasted this far. What more can I say? Just tell me I worked hard. That it was good of me to come this far. That I worked hard. Even if you can't smile as you let me go, please don't blame me. I worked hard. I really did work hard. Goodbye. Jonghyun gifted her a song he wrote herself called A Gloomy Clock, and they did a collab for this song. They were two great friends who not only had similar dreams, but also similar troubles and concerns about the future. One of the events that impressed me the most during this period was Jee Eun's idol bullying in front of the entire industry at the Golden Disc Awards. Was her speech about Jee Eun, apologizing to him for not recognizing his pain and expressing her sorrow for losing a close friend, and also warning everyone not to let something like this happen again, was one of the most moving parts of her speech. I believe we should laugh when we are happy and cry when we are sad. It is okay to be tired, hungry, or sick. These are natural things, and I wish we could all see and accept these natural things as friends. Our job is to comfort other people, and it is great that we try to be professional by hiding our emotions, but it is really good for ourselves. We should take care of ourselves and take care of our needs as well. I think this conversation was very important for the industry, which was silent about everything at that time. After Jee Eun's death, Jee Eun did not release any albums and completed all the preparations for her new album Love Poem and released it. Jee Eun's best friend, Sully, had also committed suicide. Jee Eun, who could not get over the pain of Jee Eun, had a great breakdown in the face of this new loss, but unfortunately, this would not be the last loss she experienced. Sully and Jee Eun were on very good terms. They were very close friends. Jee Eun even wrote a song called Peach in 2012 to Sully. When Sully passed away, this song entered the music lists again. Which word can I use to describe you in the song? The words, probably all the words in this world are not enough, were very popular at that time. Sully had to struggle with great difficulties and openly said that she had a very difficult time and was affected by negative criticism, but unfortunately people did not pay much attention to the difficulties she went through, and they pushed harder. Jee Eun had a hard time with this loss and postponed the album release a month later, on November 18th. She released her album. She gave a concert in Seoul on November 23rd, and during this concert, she remembered Sully often. Even though she tried not to cry, everyone who attended the concert was in tears that day. Jee Eun said the following that day, "I can't see my beloved friend anymore. No matter how busy Sully was, she would always come to my concert. That's why I tried so hard not to cry today, but it's been a month since the last day I saw her." Especially the last sentence in this conversation really breaks my heart, and I don't know how Jee Eun fought through all of this. But I said, this is the last thing she ever lived. There would be no loss. The day after these words she said during the concert, another close friend of her, Goo Hara, also committed suicide. Some also say that Jee Eun received this news during the concert. Goo Hara, like Sully, was having a very difficult time psychologically and even shared a post on her social media account, thanking everyone. She said in that post, "Thank you, you have done so many good things for me. However, I am a little tired now. There are many people who are very important to me. I love all of your support, but I don't want to stay in this world any longer. I say goodbye to everyone." All of this was so scary. When I think about the psychology that Jee Eun is going through, I am surprised that she can survive. She was only 26 years old, and she witnessed the death of 3 of her very close friends. These 3 idols were really very valuable, and they exposed the cruelty of the industry to all of us. I hope they're very happy now. She tried to stay alive in the face of this bad news she received one after the other, and Goo Hara was the last one she had lost. 1 year later, she made a great collaboration with Suga, member of BTS. Many people think that this song was written for the deceased idols. The lyrics of the song are really emotional. So, are you happy now? Are you finally happy? I'm in the same situation. I feel like I've lost everything. Everyone comes and goes as they please. It kills me without even saying goodbye. If things go on like this, I don't want to love anyone. This song is so special that I get goosebumps every time I listen to it. Jee Eun had to survive for her childhood dreams, and at this time, her career was on a huge rise again. The series started in early 2020. She later released a soundtrack for the TV series named Crash Landing on You. Idol achieved remarkable success in the field of acting in many episodes between 2015 and 2019, and even became the first K-pop idol actress to participate in the K-Film Festival as a result of these successes. But in 2020, Jee Eun knew she had suffered another loss. Her grandmother, who raised her and supported her along the way, had also passed away. I want to shout out, will this girl ever smile again? It is such a life, but fortunately, Jee Eun had a very supportive family and wonderful fans. We talked about Jee Eun's family at the beginning of the video. So, if you ask them what happened, Jee Eun's father was not with her much in her childhood, and this absence affected her relationships. After Jee Eun became famous, Jee Eun made peace with her father, but their relationship was very much. The relationship between her and her mother was not good either. It is really amazing. In fact, her mother Jee Eun used this way to make the fans comfortable for the Golden Ha concert held in South Korea's largest stade Jee Eun in 2022. The concert area had a seating area for 90,000 people, and since everyone who came on the first day bought the cushions as souvenirs, they bought 90,000 cushions on the second day. That is, they brought 180,000 cushions to the concert area so that Jee Eun's fans would be comfortable. I think this is an incredibly sweet move. Also, many idols attended this concert. Another reason why so many people flocked to the concert area that day was that Jee Eun was seen as an idol among idols. Many artists often say that they admire Jee Eun and take her as a role model. One of them is BTS Jungkook. Jungkook said in a program that the first album he bought was the Jee Eun album and his ideal type was Jee Eun. As a result, of course, rumors came to the fore, but there was nothing like this. I think one of the most important characteristics of Jee Eun is her loyalty, because she's been working with the same agency since the day she debuted. If you remember, I told you at the beginning of the video that Jee Eun debuted with Loon Entertainment. This agency is now Kakao Entertainment, which we all know very well is not anyone else. In fact, they just changed the name. In 2019, the agency established a subcompany, Idoma Entertainment, that can only continue its activities for Jee Eun because our idol is so big. She has always been very loyal to the team that works with her. She even signs her own contract before her team renews the contract with the agency and talks about better conditions, raises, and vacation days within her team. I have often emphasized that she has a heart like that, but she is really one of the people who donate the most in Korea. I think this feature is due to the fact that she has experienced a lot of difficulties and knows what poverty is. For example, she started a scholarship project in the high school she graduated from, and she regularly donates to there. She also frequently donates to people in difficult situations. She often helps out, and even in the DMs she receives, people are always telling her that she is in a difficult situation and asking for money. Is it possible that Jee Eun sends this money to those people and gets defrauded? That's why Jee Eun said that she never looks at Instagram messages anymore. Also, the point that impressed me the most is Jee Eun puts photos of missing children at the end of her videos on her personal YouTube channel and warns the viewers that if you see them, please report them to the authorities. This is a really subtle move and not a collaboration. It is a work done entirely at Jee Eun's request. If you are browsing the global news pages, there will be at least one article about Jee Eun's donations every week. You will see the article. Being able to give a certain portion of her earnings in this way makes her even more valuable. I think Jee Eun is now 31 years old and has left many negativities and bad memories behind and has created a wonderful life for herself, and she has a very sweet relationship. If you watch Korean dramas, you must have come across the TV series Lee Jong-suk. In fact, these two became cinema co-hosts in 2012. Afterwards, Lee Jong-suk often mentioned IU as a close friend in the programs he attended and even went to IU's concerts. The two were in constant interaction. And frankly, I think he is in platonic love with IU, so I think he can open up. On December 30th, 2022, during an award ceremony, Lee Jong-suk made a speech and thanked those who supported him. Afterwards, he has been more than one person for a long time. He declared that he liked one girl, and the day after this confession, he announced the relationship between Lee Jong-suk and Jee Eun in the New Year's Eve. These photos are incredibly sweet. Today, he is one of the richest K-pop idols, and I think she achieved this from scratch with her own retirees. It is a very proud story. I wanted to tell you about this today, because it was the last time. From time to time, we all face difficulties in certain parts of our lives, but I hope this story will inspire you all. Jee Eun's story is an incredible success for me. Poverty is one of the worst things in this world, but it is one of the worst. It is not one of the bad things. We can find many reasons to be unhappy, but it is also in our hands to be successful and change our lives. If you have a dream, please hold on to it tightly. When you overcome all the negativities that come your way, a perfect life will be waiting for you. I love you all very much. I give you a big hug. Please subscribe to my channel and comment. Don't forget to leave a like. Take care of yourself. Goodbye.
진짜 그래가지고 나 진짜 웃겨 죽겠다. 난리가 났어. 여기래요. 내가 야, 왜 이렇게 왔다 갔다 하는 거야? 섭해. 망했어. 그러고 왔는데 아니에요. 압수당했어. 댄스 교습실. 어두분이 되게 외롭게 다 우리 양 진짜 이상 여자 같아. 진짜 안녕.